Hello everyone, welcome to Das House with Thomas Gunn. Today we're going to be making a traditional German Christmas cookie. It's called Spritzgebäck, and Spritz is to spray or squirt, and this is a cookie that is pressed out through a meat grinder, but it's not a meat grinder that you've used for meat. It's only one that you reserve for making cookies. You can actually buy them online if you search for them. I've seen them online. You can try Amazon. So the first thing you need to do in a mixer, I've already done the first half for you so the video won't be too long. 250 grams of butter, cream that with 250 grams of sugar. If you have a problem doing grams at home, you can just buy yourself a weighing scale like this, put a bowl on the top, put it to 0, and then whatever you put in, it'll show you the weight so that you've got the exact measurements. So we've done 250 grams sugar, creamed it with the 250 grams of butter. Then you're going to add in 3 egg yolks, the rind of 1 lemon. Just get yourself a grater like this. These tools are great. Just go back and forth over the top to get off. But just get the yellow, don't go into the white because that part is bitter. So the rind of 1 lemon, and now we're going to add 500 grams of flour mixed with 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So that's where we're at now. I'm going to put that in, turn it on low. This will become a fairly thick dough, because the cookie does need to be somewhat thick to come out through the grinder. You could always finish kneading this on the counter a little bit if it doesn't come together in your mixer. So I'm just going to pour the rest in. And there we go. That's it for the dough. I'm just going to mix this up a bit, and then I'll put it on the counter so you can see. Incidentally, vanilla sugar. This is vanilla sugar. Dr. Edgar makes it. Not sponsored, but you can buy vanilla sugar in most grocery stores now. If not, you can look at a specialty deli. So there we go. The dough is done. I'm going to take off my heater, turn it out onto the counter. And I mean, you don't really need to knead this. All I'm doing right now is forming it into a disc. And you don't need to make this a flat disc. The shape is not important because you won't be rolling this. It'll be going into a grinder. So there we go. We're going to wrap this with plastic wrap, put it in the fridge, let it set at least an hour. I mean, you could make this the day before, which is what I'm doing. And once we're ready to grind it, I'll show you the grinder and how we go about that. Alright, so here we are. I'm just going to show you quick for these Spritzgebaeck, or the squirt cookies, let's say in English. This is the typical meat grinder, but like I said, this one you would not ever have used for meat. It's just specifically for cookies. You put the dough in here. Then you turn the handle. As you can see, the grinder will push the dough out through the front. This is an attachment, so you can change it for the different shaped cookies that you want. Before you put your dough in here though, I've already worked the dough so that it gets soft. And so let's see if we can get this going. Usually the first few cookies don't come out very well. It's only once this dough starts to get softer. And you have to get the dough actually working all the way through to the end of the grinder at first. So see all that dough, nothing's come out yet because it's all sitting in the grinder. Keep pushing. When we were kids, my mother would do this part and my sister and I would get to turn the handle. So there we go. So see, the first ones, like I said, they don't work because the dough has to harden up. So you push it out like this. See, it's still not good. And that's just because the dough is still too cool. And it's not compressed enough yet. There we go. So there we go. You can make these long, short. You can make them even longer and then make it into a circle. I can tell that the dough is still not warm enough. But the more you work this, the softer the dough see, it's just crumbling right now. Let's try a different attachment. So there you go, that attachment is working better. So you just keep doing this until you've gone through all the dough. After that, you can leave them plain. You can dip them in a chocolate. You can dip them in a lemon glaze, which we'll be doing. I'll come back when we're at that stage and I'll show you the cookies as well. These will go into a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes. Once they're all done, we'll come back and I'll show you the glazing. We just want to show you really quick how to do the Spritzgebaeck. It's easier with two people. It's me and my sister. My sister will be pushing on the dough and turning the handle, and I will be catching the dough as it comes out and putting it onto the baking sheet. So we're just going to show you a couple real quick. I mean, I have done this by myself, but it's definitely much easier with two people. So she's pushing down on the dough and turning at the same time, and that helps to compress the dough as it comes out. Okay. So there you go, just keep moving along. As you can see, we've got some different shapes going from the different attachments. See you later when they're done. So here we are with the Spritzgebaeck, the cookies that came out of the meat grinder. As you can see, we've brushed some with chocolate. You can brush the whole thing, you can brush half. These are the different shapes. And then here we have the next batch that are being brushed with a lemon glaze. The lemon glaze is 1 cup of icing sugar, also known as confectioner sugar or powdered sugar, and 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. You want to use fresh lemon juice for this, not the bottled kind, and you want this glaze a little bit thinner because you don't want it too thick on the cookies. So as you can see, I mean, it will run off, but it'll leave a nice opaque glaze. So there you go. This is Spritzgebaeck. Give them a try. Lots of people love these. I'm thinking for the recipe, because it did seem a little bit drier this year, I would increase the amount of butter, probably by 25 to 50 grams. I'll leave that below in the description box. But there you go.
The baking time.
The baking time was, it said, the recipe is 8 to 12 minutes, but like I said, I pulled these out at 11 minutes. That was fine. Don't go to 15. The recipe also said it could go to 15, but that came out too dark. So 11 minutes, 10 to 11 minutes is perfect. You want them to be nice and pale like you see here. You don't want them to start browning too much. There you go. Enjoy the recipe. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Holidays. Subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.